Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. This morning my buddy Johnny Guitar forwarded to me an interesting article from the German Swiss press, translated to English, an interview with the CEO of Patek Philippe, Thierry Stern, and the headline was pretty shocking, and sounds a lot of people feel it is quite arrogant. Haters are mostly people who have never had a Patek, and at first the interview is the questions are so direct and the answers so un-CEO-like to some extent that I thought it was maybe a hoax, but no, it is absolutely true. You can read for yourself, a link in the description, and maybe subscribe, of course, to Bilans, and use your Google Translate to see in English those interesting articles from the ground there in Switzerland about maybe Oris, and of course this interview with Thierry Stern, who maybe is a bit tired, maybe a bit stressed. Is the big release of the Cubitus, the first new line in 25 years, although I had felt that they had released new things in between, and I guess the last big one really was the maybe the 24 for ladies, not really something that people talk much about. Nice enough watch, and of course the Aquanaut, which is really the entry level that the brand needs and that you would love to be able to buy at the authorized dealers. And because it exists, I wonder what is the need for making a square Nautilus, and of course that is part of the questions, and so you can read in all the details. This is Thierry himself, so he inherits the brand from his family. I think it's the fifth or fourth generation of Stern at the helm of Patek Philippe. His father Philippe was very strong minded, and I kind of feel like this passing of the baton feels a bit like some monarchs, like for example Monaco, where you feel like the new generation is not quite ready yet. It took a while, but there you go. He's at the helm now, trying to keep up with the heritage while appealing to new generations. And a lot of the watches are just seem to be just iterations of the past, and I can understand he would want to release something new, and that is mainly what the questions are about, and why people are not responding well apparently to the Cubitus. It's not just because of the name reminds them of a French cartoon of the 80s with a dog character that looks a lot like Thierry Stern, in fact. But it's mostly because if you're launching something new, they would like to see something new, and it is exactly a copy of a squared version of the Nautilus with the same design codes all around, same bracelet, the hinge, and all that. And so it seems to be falling on deaf ears in this interview by Iris Kuhn-Spogat, and who I want to thank for asking those questions. So first they go through the design, and Thierry confirms it is all his own design, him and four people, and he doesn't consult with anyone external. Let's remember that Gerald Genta designed the ever so famous Nautilus that Thierry wants to distance the brand from in some way, but then makes it again in white gold, and you know the whole story. And so when these watches came out, they look like a Nautilus squared to such extent that it's just puzzling. And they also were very big. This is one of the questions. Why so large? And there's going to be something very interesting that Thierry says. We're going to get to that. And also the movements are not square, which is very unusual for a brand of that status. And the most complicated movement has now a big date, which can be a troublesome complication. We'll see if that one works well. But the balance of the dial is a bit bizarre with those rounds inside the square. So it just feels like they reuse caliber mostly, and then slap it on a square. So there you go. It talks about the design philosophy or lack thereof. His son Adrian is gonna start participating more into the development of the brand. Why not? Great. Keep it in the family. And Thierry learned from being there at the factory, I guess, with his dad. So he doesn't have a ground up approach from really a school thought designer. It is which makes me feel that he's mostly doing variations of things that he's seen. So it's difficult to come with something new and original from a proper designer perspective. I love this question. The new watches don't look that new, and Thierry says, "Oh, we invested so much into making steels. We don't want to do other materials." So it's kind of evading the question, mentioning that Hublot are the specialists of that, and that's not really the question. So the interviewer presses on. He says you could certainly step on the gas a bit in terms of design, and congratulations to Google for translating this properly. And yeah, this is a bit what he's saying. There's so many options. He's done the 24, the Aquanaut, and the Aquanaut at first was probably not well received, and now it is a watch that people want. So maybe it will take a lot of time for people to desire this new line of model. But the question is, why did they need to have this line of model in the first place if they have the Nautilus and the Aquanaut? And his dad taught him. He talks a lot about his dad. Remember, he even put his dad's face on a watch, which is cringy. I'm not sure who that is for. And there's a lot of questionable things since we're talking about the Aquanaut. Do we really need a fully bejeweled Aquanaut and a fully bejeweled Nautilus? I guess even the Russian oligarchs' girlfriends need to have something on the wrist. But maybe it's not in the great tradition of Patek Philippe. So yeah, now we're coming to the interesting part, asking about the leak and the word I can't repeat here, and all the negative comments. And let me say it like Thierry would say it. He's not very eloquent in English, I have to say. So let me say it like the way he would say it. As I said, I'm used to it. It doesn't bother me. We all get attacked every time we launch something new. The haters are mostly people who have never had a Patek and never will, so that doesn't bother me. What counts for me is the result, and I am confident about the Cubitus because I have a good nose and a lot of professionals around me who told me it would work. I hope you have enjoyed this impersonation. So there you go. And I think a lot of people sort of misinterpret maybe what he's saying. Maybe he doesn't mean to be so arrogant and say that people who can't afford my watches only will hate on it. I think what he means is people who have never touched a Patek, never owned one, never cared to own one, are hating on it. But I think he's very wrong. It's people a lot of people who actually own Patek, me included. Okay, I didn't buy them at the boutique because I couldn't afford it. But I have two very nice Pateks, and I just don't understand. It's not that I hate on the watch itself or the way it is made. It's just that I don't like everybody's saying it's just a square Nautilus. We thought you could have come up with a better concept than this. So people don't really hate on the watch itself. It is the concept. The lazy concept behind it. So there you go, beautiful. Thierry Stern. And the interviewer just picks up on what he just said. Professionals from within or from the market. And he just says it's just people from within the company. So it doesn't have really a mirror from the exterior, which can be a bit risky. Of course, you don't want to listen too much to clients, because the clients, they just know what they know from the past and they always want the same thing. So it's good to challenge them, but this is exactly what he's not doing with this watch. There's no challenge here. It is exactly what the clients maybe would have thought of, the first thing they would have thought of if they would imagine a different shape for the Nautilus. And so that's what the interviewer said. It said it looks a lot like the Nautilus. And so the CEO kind of talk begins. It has the DNA of the brand. It will be within the interviewer said, "Well, it is a twin of the Nautilus," and the exchange, "Oh, it's a tourist turn say it's a brother of the Nautilus," and but he does say, "You notice this: the longer you see it, the longer you wear it, that it has its own identity." And maybe he's true. Maybe this is true. Maybe he's right. It will take time to appreciate for what it is on its own, and not comparing it to what we know. I'm not so sure, but we'll see. Maybe he's totally right, and those cufflinks look quite good actually with this watch. When it is resting on the wrist, it is really really big. So that's going to be one of the next questions. Why is it so big in a market that is looking for smaller watches? And Thierry says, "I am not the trend. All I can say is that there will be other sizes." So there you go. This is an interesting nugget of information. We can expect smaller sizes, so don't rush. If you get the call to finally be able to buy something at the AD, don't rush, because there's probably going to be a 39, 40 millimeter version that will wear a lot less awkwardly and less like a big TV on the wrist, and maybe it will finally find it's the right size to look a bit better, a bit less jarring. So I think that's really interesting. Very good question. And then they talk about the price, of course. This is meant to be an entry level, and it comes at the moment with the exchange rate at 40,000 US for the steel version, which is again feels out of touch. But again, we are not Patek. We don't know how much they sell, and maybe this is no problem for them. The Calatravas are very expensive. Everything is extremely expensive, but they have a new factory to pay for, and watchmakers to keep. So hey, good for you. I hope you can weather this the crisis. His dad told him that it's good to have strong models to get out of a crisis, and I thought he already had, right? With very strong models that people want, people are not able to buy, and now the production will be divided with this new model that, I don't know who will want it, but again, we dissect this as watch guys. Maybe the public in general will just see this and think, hey, something new, great, I'll buy that. 40,000 is fine. It is within my budget. Again, we see this from maybe a narrow angle, but for the amusing angle, go to Instagram. Time and Tides picked up on the headline here, and the comment section is pretty buoyant. Also, there's a couple of cool memes from picking up on this. So at least we have a good chuckle. And after all, it is just a product. But when you buy Patek, you kind of feel like you're buying the very best, and the old designs were just so perfect. They sort of transcended this idea of just being a product. And buying a Patek, you feel like you're part of that, with a beautiful box and all the heritage, the buzzword in the industry, and it feels like some of the directions, some of the models released recently are a bit misguided. But again, we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Will it put off some people, some collectors from the brand? This way of talking from a CEO, and we will see people actually turning their back and looking at something else, such as this incredible new Seiko that has just dropped with an octagonal bezel design. I don't know how that's going to function, but this is exactly what Patek needed. It will be different enough, but staying within the idea of that famous bezel shape. And the Seiko cheekily releases this. Oh my God, you couldn't have planted this at a better moment. Damn, I have to go see this. I can already imagine how it's gonna wear, how the bracelet is gonna feel. I hate the date where it is placed, but I mean the rotating octagonal bezel. Imagine that in the Patek collection. expanding on the Nautilus and the Aquanaut, but something different and quite fun. That would have been exactly what they needed. And I bet if Thierry sees this, or his son, who's also taking part now of the company's future, they're going to be like, damn, this is what we should have done. But there's always a next time. There's always a next season. Probably going to take 4 or 5 years for them to develop this properly. But there you go. At least you have an alternative. So let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys. And yeah, take it easy. It's just a product. It's just a watch after all. And I'm sure you have another watch on the wrist. So enjoy that one. Bye-bye.